Please like this video. I really need your support right now. It's the only way this story can reach more people. Thank you so much for being here with me and for your support. I woke up to an empty side of the bed and a text from my sister asking what time we were bringing the cake to Mom's dinner. The plate Megan left in the fridge last night still had the plastic on it. No note. No call. The dog bowl was full. The charger by the bed was gone. I tried Megan once. Twice. Third time Anna picked up, syrup in her tone. "Hey babe," she sang. "Don't spin out. I flew out with the girls. Weekend reset." "Where?" I asked. Pause. "You know, just the usual. Spas, shopping, girl stuff." "Pin a dot," I said. "Who's with you? You're doing that control thing again." "Location." She giggled. "Ryan, please. Don't make it a thing. Maybe I just needed a break from you." "You missed my mother's birthday dinner," I said. "Where are you? Who is there?" Silence stretched until the line died. She didn't call back. If I'd known where it was headed, I'd have left the sheets unmade and saved myself a trip through every step of her show. But I'm an engineer. When something starts humming wrong, I find the rattle and shut it down. I check socials. Nothing from Megan. No tags. No location. Very unlike her. I called Erica first. Megan's ride or die. Her words, not mine. Erica picked up with coffee breath in her voice. "You okay? Where's Megan?" Girls thing," she said too quickly. "Spa." "Where?" "At Day Spa. Scottsdale." "You're at home," I replied. "I can hear your dishwasher." She exhaled. "Ryan, I don't want to be in the middle. You already are. I swear I don't know the plan." She said, "Don't loop me." I hung up and dialed Britt. She answered over TV noise. "Girls' weekend?" I asked. "What?" She laughed. "I'm on my couch." "Why would I?" "Thanks." I ended it. I drove to my parents' place with the cake under my arm and a lie in my pocket. Mom opened with her usual calm. "Where's Megan, honey?" "Wasn't feeling well," I said, then added, "She'll call you." Dad watched me like men who have been married long enough to recognize smoke. "She's fine," I told him. "You needed her there," he said. "Noted." He nodded once. "Then fix your end, and don't chase her end." I didn't drink. I cut the cake, took a slice to Mom, and left early. On the way home, Megan texted a heart and a photo from a hotel hallway anybody could find on a stock site. No face, no signage, just a robe and a glass. I didn't answer. The next morning I knocked on Erica's door. She opened in leggings and a t-shirt with a stain on the shoulder. Her eyes flicked to my truck, then back to my face. "You can't just." "I just did." She stepped back, chewing her lip. "Look, where did she fly?" "I don't do that." I cut her off. "You always know." Her mouth opened, then the word fell out before she could catch it. "Cabo." We both stood there, air stalled. "Different spa," I said. "I shouldn't have said that," she whispered, suddenly busy with a crumb on her counter. "She said not to drag people into." "You think she cares about not dragging people in?" "She dragged you in twice." "I don't want to lie to you, Ryan. You already tried." She looked like she wanted to hug me. I wasn't offering that role. "Okay," she said, hands up. "That's all I know. It's enough." I turned, and she called after me. "Don't do anything crazy." "Crazy is your friend playing hide and seek across a border," I said without turning, and left her with her dishwasher humming again. Driving home, I made coffee and opened my laptop. I searched everything that fit. Flights out of Phoenix that matched the window. Hashtags for resorts in Cabo trending overnight. Vista Azul Cabo popped up, all fake candids and bright pools. I dug deeper. Reflections in glass were sloppy. One shot had a straw hat in the corner and a shoulder I knew better than my own. The caption was nothing, but the tag list had names tied to a local fitness page. One name showed up twice. Cole Benson. Scottsdale. On assignment, his bio said. Cute. I followed the tag backward. Kira's backyard party from 3 months ago. Group shots. Megan and Cole too casual on the left side of a frame. Hips tilted in that careless way people who think they're invisible tilt their hips. The caption from Kira. Thanks Megan and Cole for wine and drama. Kira thought she was being witty. It aged poorly. I checked old geotags from the gym and spotted Cole sharing a location in Tempe in front of a low stucco building. Street number in the background. People think a blur tool makes them safe. It doesn't. I drove to Tempe at lunch, rang the bell, clipboard in hand. A woman answered with her hair in a knot and a look like she'd been told too many times to wait. Unit filters, I said with my calm face. Office sent me. 5 minutes. She glanced down the hallway on instinct. Cole isn't here. Didn't ask for Cole. She hesitated, then softened like she wanted to be helpful to someone in a vest. He flew out Thursday, she said. He'll be back Monday. Great, I said. Tell him to check his mailbox Tuesday. She nodded her brows. What's that supposed to? Let me pause the story for just a second. If you're still here, please hit the like button. It really helps YouTube recommend this story to more people. Thank you so much for your support. Now, let's get back to the story. Filters, I repeated and stepped away before she could gather more questions. Back in Phoenix, I booked a flight to San Jose del Cabo and a room at a resort down the beach from Vista Azul. I packed a backpack, my camera with the long lens, and my patience. On the way to the airport, I texted Megan a simple, home late Sunday. You good? No reply. The plane was full of sun chasers. I stared out and ran numbers. What this would cost in time and money. Then I measured that against the cost of playing blind for another month while she set a new reality. Not even close. I checked in, dropped my bag, and walked the shoreline until I saw the layout from the pictures. Long pool, blue cabanas, that dumb sail shape in glass. I settled on public sand with the camera in my hands. People think privacy is a fence. On a beach, it's a myth. There she was. Straw hat, white cover-up, Cole beside her, all teeth and curated muscles. They walked like a set. She touched his arm the way she used to touch mine when I handled the bill at a nice place. He leaned in like she was a refill he deserved. I shot frames without drama. They kissed when they thought no one was looking. They took a selfie with the coastline behind them and his hand low in a way that could be explained away but didn't need explaining. They went to the waterline, clung to each other, and swayed in that way people do when they're sure they're safe. I took 100 shots and kept 10. That's how this works. Most of life is noise. Then there's data. Back at my room, I opened the laptop like it was a work call. I dragged the best shots into a folder, zipped it, and wrote a polite email to a lawyer I trust. In the subject line I wrote, "Please begin." No threats. No theater. Just a process. Then I printed one photo at the business center, slid it into an envelope, and wrote 2 words on a note. This helps. I addressed it to the Tempe unit with Cole's name. The resort concierge mailed it gladly. Sunburned men with credit cards get good service. Then I called Megan. She answered on the second ring, voice bright as a storefront. Hey, you okay? The girls. Enjoy the ocean with Cole, I said evenly. Silence. Then a laugh that sounded like a bad rehearsal. What? Whose? Don't pack anything. I continued. I'll handle the house. Ryan, you're making up stories. I'm not making anything, I said. I'm turning pages. You think you can just. I already did. Can we talk when I'm back? She tried. You're on vacation, I said. Don't work on your vacation. I hung up. I didn't block her. I don't do disappearing. I do doors. The next morning, I put on running shoes and cut behind the villas to the private fitness room Vista Azul pretends is exclusive. The glass was clear. Cole was on a treadmill, setting a pace he thought would impress someone. I walked in like I belonged, stopped beside his machine, and waited until he glanced over. He squinted. Do I know you? Check your mailbox tomorrow, I said. I didn't raise my voice. He blinked. I turned and left. That's the whole exchange. People think power is noise. It's usually a quiet gear clicking into place. Outside, I finally texted my manager, Nate. Won't be on site Monday morning. Family matter. I'll remote. He called me. You good? I'm handling it. You need someone to grab a beer with you and stare at a wall? He asked. Tuesday, I said. Hold the wall. On my flight home, I watched the desert crawl back under the wing and thought about the first time Megan visited my job site. She brought iced coffee and asked real questions. I had loved that. I wasn't going to rewrite it as a lie. It just wasn't my present anymore. When I unlocked the house, the air smelled like nothing. I like that. I'm a simple man about a lot of things. I set a carry-on on the bed and began to separate what I needed for the next month. Not everything. I wasn't running. I was recalibrating. Clothes I wear. Tools I use. Paperwork. The dog came to the doorway, sat, and watched. I scratched his head without comment. Megan's text came at midnight. We need to talk. Then, I'm scared. Then a photo of her feet in sand, as if proof of a beach would soothe math. I put the phone face down. In the morning, I made a fresh pot and sent a text to my bank to pause the joint card. Not to starve her. To end blank checks drawn on my name while she wrote a new story. I upgraded my mom's dinner next week from backyard to a restaurant and put my name alone on the reservation. That's not petty. That's a boundary. At 9, Erica called. She's freaking out. She'll live. She says you're being cruel. You can tell her I'm being organized. Erica hesitated. She told me you were distant, that you made work the center of everything. I do work a lot, I admitted. I don't disappear. Fair, she said, then dropped into a softer register. She'll try to sell you an explanation. She can sell it to someone else. She'll hate that you found her. She can hate that I respect myself. Those are her options. Ryan, I'm sorry. You broke and told me the truth, I replied. You're fine. Her voice warmed. Be careful with Cole. He's loud. I'm louder on paper. Megan landed Sunday night. She didn't go home. She stopped by Erica's first, trying to collect a friendly witness. Monday morning, she walked into our kitchen with a tote bag on her shoulder and sunglasses she didn't need. She looked around like she might rate the space. You told people, she said. No hello. I told the only person who matters for this. You're blowing up my life, she snapped. I pressed send on a folder with pictures of your weekend. You stalked me across a border, she said, aiming for outrage and landing on wine. Don't. You took a trip. I took a walk on a public beach. She tossed her sunglasses on the counter. Can you just listen? I leaned against the island. Sure. It wasn't planned like that, she started. It was a last-minute flight, I supplied. Yes, she grabbed it hungry. Exactly. It was spontaneous. You and Cole needed salt water, I said. Got it. It was a reset, she kept going. I've been feeling trapped. Like the house is closing in. Like you're always in your head with work. And you wanted a picture of a life where I don't exist until you decide I do again. That's not fair. I asked you where you were, I said. You told me to stop controlling you. That's not a slip. That's a sentence you've been rehearsing. Her mouth tightened. You're twisting everything. No, I'm straightening it. She tried a different angle. We can try counseling. We could have, I answered. Before you lied about a girl's trip and flew south with a man you've been lining up at parties. It wasn't like that, she said. Then immediately added, I needed someone who sees me. I nodded as if she'd just confirmed the weather. You had options. You chose the one where you lose my respect. She moved closer, voice softening. I'm sorry, okay? I made a mistake. We were just talking. It got out of hand. I didn't want to hurt you. That was her first soft turn. She put a hand near mine, then pulled it back like a safe person. The right amount of contrition for optics. You didn't hurt me, I said. You canceled your own membership. Don't be like this, she whispered. We have a life. We had a life, I corrected. Now we have a process. What does that even mean? It means there'll be a meeting at a lawyer's office. No drama. No speeches. Tears didn't come. They rarely do for people who built the scene. She tried firmness instead. Then I want the house, she said quiet, testing for leverage. It's mine. The dog stays. You want the set, I said. Noted. The process will land where it lands. God, you're cold. I'm calm. She looked at the carry-on by the door. You're moving out? For a while, I said. I don't live with people who lie to me. You're punishing me. I'm protecting me. She laughed once, harsh. Everyone will think you drove me away. Everyone already knows where you were this weekend, I said. And if they don't, I'm not the one eager to tell them. She flinched at that. It wasn't loud. It landed anyway. She grabbed her tote like it might defend her. Can we just put a pause on decisions? She tried. A week. You asked for a break, I said. You got one. Permanent. She stared, weighing whether to detonate or downgrade. She downgraded. I'll pack some things, she muttered. No, I answered. Leave the house alone. Take your purse. That's it. I opened the drawer, placed my house key on the counter, slid a new key toward me. Locks changed at noon. You want something, you make a list. You can't do that. I just did. She froze, then tried the second illusion. Her voice went soft in a way that worked on a lot of men. She even smiled a little. Ryan, I still want you, she murmured. We can take a trip, just us. I'll plan it. I'll delete everything. I'll show you my phone. We can reset. I almost laughed. She was selling me a mirror. I leaned back. You think I landed on this yesterday? I said. This didn't start on a beach. It started when you stopped telling me small truths. I told you I'm sorry. You told me you were with the girls, I replied. Then hung up. Then put Erica in a corner. Then you used a tone you know I hate because it buys you half an hour. You train me to accept that. That training's over. She set her jaw. You've always wanted to control the narrative. No, I said. I've always wanted mutual respect. You want freedom without consequence. Your mother will hate me, she whispered. My mother is an adult, I said. She'll survive. The dog shuffled in and leaned against my calf. Megan looked down like she expected him to choose. He already had. He likes whoever takes him on the morning loop. I'm going, she said, and headed to the door, then paused. You're really doing this. I started when you said girls' weekend, I said. Everything after that was logistics. She left without slamming the door. Good. We were done with theater. I called Nate and asked to move my Tuesday morning on-site to Wednesday, remote the rest. You want me to run interference with Curtis? He asked. Tell him I've got bandwidth by Thursday, I said. He likes results more than faces. Copy, Nate said. Then after a beat, you're a machine. I'm a man who doesn't live in someone else's script, I said. He grunted approval in that way men have. Beer's still on. Tonight, I said. I'll bring the silence. In the afternoon, Kira texted me of all people. You and Meg okay? Translation, I heard something. She likes proximity to heat. Let me pause the story for just a second. If you're still here, please hit the like button. It really helps YouTube recommend this story to more people. Thank you so much for your support. Now, let's get back to the story. We're good where we're going, I wrote back. Nothing more. People who fish with 3 dots don't get bait from me. By evening, Erica sent another message. She's saying you threatened Cole. I told him to check the mail, I replied. That's a courtesy. You're scaring her, Erica wrote. She should be scared of her own decisions. I typed, then deleted it and sent. She'll be okay. Erica didn't answer. Good. I didn't need an audience. Tuesday, the envelope would hit Cole's box. Wednesday, my lawyer had us on the calendar for signatures and a calm conversation about who takes what. I put my carry-on in the truck, walked through each room once, and left the keys on the hook. I texted Megan a final note. Wednesday, 10 a.m., Jensen and Reed. Bring your ID. She replied with 3 messages in a row. Please. Don't do this. We can fix it. I didn't answer. I stayed at a short-term place near the canal. Clean. Simple. I set my tools on the counter in a neat line. I slept like a man with a list. In the morning, Nate called. You up? He asked. Always. Got a side note, he added. Curtis heard something sideways through Kira's husband about you going scorched earth. I'm not scorched, I said. I'm precise. He said that sounds worse. Nate laughed. I told him to shut up and check the schedule. Good friend. I try, he said. You need anything before 10? I need a pen, I said. I'll find one. The office was quiet. The receptionist had nails that could cut tape. Megan sat in the lobby when I arrived, hair done, eyes red. She nodded at me like we were co-workers forced into a meeting after a rough project. Works for me. You're really not going to hear me out, she said low. I heard you out, I replied. I heard you say you needed a break from me. I heard you decline to disclose your location. I heard you put your friend between us. Then I heard the ocean behind you. That's not what You can say it 8 ways, I said. It lands the same. The lawyer laid papers out and spoke without fluff. We initialed boxes and signed lines. No bargaining, no raised voices. Megan asked about furniture. I said take what you'll use. She asked about the dog again. I said he's staying with me because I walk him at 6 a.m. and you hate mornings. She had no counter to that. We scheduled a later pickup for her clothes with a list and a neutral presence. Grown-up stuff. The kind I like. Outside the office, she tried one more time, softer than before. We built so much. We'll build other things, I said. Do you even feel anything? I feel clear. She looked at me like clarity was a luxury she hadn't planned on paying for. Then she turned and walked away, shoulders squared, mask back on. She's good at masks. It's a skill. I won't need it. At home later, I went in to collect the last of what I'd need for a few weeks. Megan was there with a laundry basket full of folded items and a face set to civil. She opened her mouth, closed it, then tried again. I can explain Cabo, she said. You can explain the weather, I replied, laying a fat manila envelope on the table. She recognized the corner of a print inside before she picked it up. That's for your records, I added. She slid the photos out slow. Beach, pool, waterline. Her breath didn't hitch, she's too trained for that. But the mask cracked under the nose. She placed them back. How long have you known? She asked. Since you went sweet on the phone, I said. Since you used the tone you use when you want to dodge. That's not fair, she muttered, then tried to smile. You always hated that voice. I still do. She swallowed and looked down at the carry-on I'd set beside the door. You left me in Cabo with this hanging, she said. I didn't leave you, I answered. You were already gone. I sent a confirmation to match your reservation. That line rehearsed, she shot, heat finally showing. Engineers rehearse, I said. It keeps bridges up. She stared at me, and for a second I saw the girl from my job site, iced coffee in hand, asking real questions. It made me sad in the practical way you're sad when you scrap a good piece of equipment because the frame cracked. You remember what it did. You don't pretend it didn't crack. She exhaled. What do you want me to say? Nothing, I said. Just sign where they ask you to sign. I didn't think you'd actually do it, she admitted. I know. You could have yelled, she said, almost hopeful. I don't raise my voice, I replied. I raise standards. She laughed once without humor. You sound like a quote on a wall. Then paint it somewhere else, I said. She wiped at her eye with a knuckle and nodded at the envelope. You send one of those to his place too? I put one picture in an envelope, I said. 2 words on a note. Simple. Clean. You're proud of this. I'm not proud, I said. I'm finished. She looked like she wanted to throw the basket. Instead, she set it down and stood tall. Maybe you'll regret it, she said. Maybe you'll learn from it, I replied. She waited for me to blink. I didn't. After a moment, she reached for her keys and her tote. Last chance, she said, nothing left to offer but a countdown. I picked up my carry-on, grabbed my jacket from the chair, and met her eyes. I left when you lied about a girl's weekend, I told her. Everything else is paperwork. I walked out. I didn't look back. That didn't feel strong. It felt normal. You turn off a valve when it leaks. You don't cry at the valve. 3 months later, I closed on a modest house with a garage deep enough for my workbench and a truck that starts the first time. My mornings are mine. The dog knows the route without a leash now. I moved a grill to the patio and let silence be the best music on weeknights. On Sundays, I take mom and dad to lunch, and we talk about weather and home projects. Dad gives me that short nod he gives men who handled their business. At work, I drew up a schedule that pushed me into a lead role that fits, and Nate told me I'm less distracted, which is funny because I've never looked distracted a day in my life. I started seeing a woman named Lena who owns a small landscaping company and hates pretense. We take early drives out past the city and talk about irrigation the way some people talk about movies. It's not romantic on paper. It feels like air. I hear things secondhand, because Phoenix is smaller than it pretends. Megan moved into a condo with a roommate for a while, then on her own. Cole's assignment ended messy. The envelope did what envelopes do. Not my story anymore. She posts less now. Fewer sunsets. More quotes about new seasons. She's building a new set. That's her right. I don't need a ticket. Sometimes Erica runs into me at the store. She is careful with her eyes. Once she said, "You look good." "I sleep," I said. "I thought you'd be angry forever," she admitted. "I don't store anger," I told her. "Takes up too much shelf space." She smiled like that answer relieved her. Maybe it did. There's a list on my fridge I wrote the first week alone. It says, boundaries, clarity, follow through. That's it. It's not a manifesto. It's a recipe. When I notice a rattle, I don't put on music to drown it out anymore. I find it. I fix it. Or I replace the part. If the whole thing is warped, I move on. People asked me later if I regret not giving her one more talk, one more chance, one more night to make it all neat. I don't do neat. I do clean. There's a difference. Neat is hiding the mess. Clean is removing it. The last thing I said to Megan in that kitchen was true. I left the moment she turned a lie into a plan and expected me to stand still while she tried on a new life like a dress. I'm not a hanger. I'm a man. And men who respect themselves don't audition for roles someone already cast. They write their own script and they stick to it.